Right now at noon, Olympic skier Lindsey Vonn is updating us on her status ahead of the Winter Games, her condition, and if she'll be able to ski this month.
And we've got some snow on radar as expected. We'll let you know who's going to see some of these bursts when it moves out, and a warm up in the 7-day.
Plus, with the latest developments in the Haley Busby case, some parents are worried about online gaming. We're breaking down what you need to know to keep your child safe. Welcome to 13 News at noon. I'm Samantha Johnson here with meteorologist Sean Ash on this weather alert day because we have seen a little bit of snow.
Yeah, there's some bursts. It's not going to be widespread, but we just want people to be cautious if you go out. In some areas could get a coating of snow, and in some cases that's all it takes.
Okay.
Yeah, but how about this? We are close to the freezing mark.
Hey, there we go. First time in a while.
We are at 31 right now. I want to show you temperatures with radar here across central Indiana at this hour. And you see those counties in purple over the southeastern corner of the state. That's where the winter weather advisory is in place. It includes Columbus and Greensburg and Brookville. And an area where there's a little bit higher confidence of snow accumulation. Now, with that said, you don't have to be in an advisory to have snow. We see some bursts that are showing up here. Had several folks over in Shelbyville, Rush County saying, hey, we've had some moderate bursts. That is not a surprise to us. And where they track, you can get a quick coating of snowfall on the roadways to make them slick. So you need to be aware of that and monitor the radar for the remainder of the afternoon. And, you know, these darker shades of gray on live Doppler 13 radar is where the snow picks up the pace a little bit. It's one of the cameras we have here in Tippecanoe County along I-65. You can see some of the flakes of snow, but right there, at least in that particular part, the road's holding up so far, at least in that area. We are at 31. East-northeast wind will start to knock the temperatures back down this afternoon, and it will eventually push more of the banding over the southern and southeastern corner of the state. And then as we go through the overnight, just a few flurries around, but colder temperatures into tomorrow morning. We got a few bitter nights ahead before we get to the warm-up we talked about. I'll have that 7-day here in just a few minutes.
This afternoon, we are learning more details surrounding the investigation into the disappearance and death of Fisher's teen Haley Busby. This investigation spans 2 states and several counties now. Tyler Thomas is the suspect arrested in connection with this case. His lawyer says he led the FBI to Busby's body over the weekend. But one sheriff's department in Ohio is still looking for other remains, they say. We want to show you video of Thomas's home. Police say they collected evidence here revealing Haley was at that home after she disappeared from Fisher's. They also believe she was at a short-term rental in Hocking County, Ohio. Police searched it a couple weeks ago and then again just yesterday. This is where investigators believe she was killed. But they say they found their remains in Perry County, Ohio, which is 40 miles away. Thomas is not facing murder charges yet, but he is facing charges of tampering with evidence and pandering sexually oriented matter with a minor. His lawyer says he will plead not guilty if he is charged with murder. Governor Mike Braun is now reacting to Busby's death. He posted this statement on X just about an hour ago, saying in part, quote, "My prayers are with the family and loved ones of Haley Busby during this heartbreaking time. No family should ever endure a loss like this. This tragedy raises serious questions about how we better protect our kids in the digital age." And the potential for predators and grooming online is becoming a greater concern with parents after Busby's disappearance. This case all started with an online gaming platform, according to police. So our Jenny Runovich talked with experts about strategies to stay safe.
The temptation after tragedy involving a teenager and danger online is for parents to say, shut it all off. But this space with games and chats is where teens socialize. It's not going away. Neither, experts say, is the threat of predators playing here too.
They do this on purpose. They're very intentional about this. They're very skilled. Groomers will generally use a lot of time. They will invest a lot of time to get to know the child because they want to get to know kind of where their vulnerabilities are, what kind of oversight does this kid have at home. They need to know that, is this going to be someone that I can manipulate and get away with it?
It's why Haley Busby's family is pushing for more safety, advocating for Haley's Law, part of which would require predator and online grooming education in Indiana schools. The petition has over 50,000 signatures.
You know, it's like a lot of parents give their children phones to be safe, not knowing that they have hundreds of predators at any time, you know, trying to contact their child.
To protect against predators, experts say use online filters, check security settings, ask kids about apps, games, who's online and what they're saying. Also encourage teens to look for red flags.
Are they trying to isolate you from your family? Your parents don't understand you. Your friends are terrible, because they need a level of isolation and disconnect for this to happen.
They pose as your friend, but then they start asking weird questions like, what high school or middle school do you go to? Or do you have any siblings? Or where do your mom and dad work?
A groomer will ask you to move your conversation from whatever platform you're on to another device. Often it's like Snapchat or Discord or WhatsApp or even gaming direct messages.
And if chats get too personal, get uncomfortable at all, tell a trusted adult, because experts say this danger can happen to anyone. Jenny Runovich, 13 News.
Now, we do have resources on our website, WTHR.com, including how to report online exploitation, how to remove explicit content, and how to talk to kids about staying safe. Plus, there is a link to the petition for Haley's Law if you want to learn more. A bill on immigration is headed to the full House here in our state. This bill already passed the Senate and the Judiciary Committee 9-4, but it did face some changes, making it stricter and more enforceable. So under these changes, local governments, including police, would have full civil and criminal immunity if they cooperate with ICE requests to detain someone. Also, hospitals must report what identification a patient uses if that patient receives Medicaid. The measure also gives the Indiana Attorney General more power to enforce and defend actions under the bill. Testimony from those opposing the bill, though, outweighed those who support it.
When residents fear that any interaction with their local government could have immigration consequences, right or wrong, crimes go unreported, and communities are less safe.
An enforcement of federal law and state law and the removal of all illegal aliens, not just those who've committed violent crimes, but all, is the #1 priority that all legislators and law enforcement in America should have right now.
The bill is now headed to the full House, where more changes could still be made. All of this comes as high schools across central Indiana are now participating in nationwide protests over immigration enforcement. In fact, just yesterday, more than 400 students walked out of North Central High School. They walked west on 86th Street all the way over to Westfield Boulevard, at one point even blocking that intersection. Metro Police had to show up to help with crowd control there too. Most of these students aren't old enough to vote, but they say they cannot stay silent.
I think when young people speak out, it's very impactful because we have a bigger voice than some of the other people. We are speaking out for people who do not have a voice to speak out.
And we have heard from several more groups who say there are demonstrations planned for the days ahead. We'll continue to monitor, we'll be there, and we'll let you know as they pop up. All right, some big news from Lindsey Vonn. She says her Olympic comeback this year is still on, despite rupturing her ACL in a crash last Friday. Take a look at some of the video from that crash. She was skiing down, she lost control, and then eventually slid into the safety nets at the bottom here. She had to be airlifted off the mountain for medical treatment that day. But Vonn now says she will still compete in the Winter Games, despite completely rupturing that ACL and getting some bone bruising.
I know what my chances were before the crash, and I know my chances aren't the same as it stands today, but I know there's still a chance. And as long as there's a chance, I will try.
So Vonn says she has been doing extensive therapy since that crash. She says she feels stable and strong and confident enough to race. So we will see what happens in just a few days. The Winter Games kick off this Friday. Still ahead this afternoon.